The food system, as we know it, is broken.
This company is bigger than I ever thought it would be.
Oh, a little piglet. So cute. That's gonna be food.
You are definitely our farm hero here at Bluffton, Georgia.
Big change is coming.
The winner is Will Harris.
I'm so proud of you.
All right, thank you.
It's time to meet the new pioneers transforming farming and food. These extraordinary women and men are revitalizing the soil, restoring the environment, and protecting wildlife, essential elements of Mother Nature. Prepare to be surprised as we discover one of the most crucial movements dedicated to making our world a better place. It's time to meet our farm heroes.
This farm's 3,200 acres is divided up into about 150, 20 to 30 acre paddocks. And we move the animals every day to a new paddock. So what we're about to do is go and move the winter calving herd to another paddock. And the animals will graze it one day, and then we'll move them to the next paddock. The rationale there is to give the land a hard animal impact and then a very long recovery time. I operated this farm for 20 years without really understanding that, but now I do, and it's amazing how beneficial that is. It really positively impacts the land. These cowboys are ready to move. The cows are even more ready to move. A little 1,000 mama cows, and about 50 bulls, and we hadn't counted the calves yet. The calves probably 700. You can see how they've just eaten this all the way down, and that's what they'll do here. Primary goal is to give this grass a really hard grazing impact and then a long recovery period. What that does is it puts carbon in the soil. Those plants, when they are growing, photosynthesize, breathing in greenhouse gases, building up plant material, leaves up here and roots in the soil. After 60 days of rest doing that, the herd's put in and they'll really impact it hard, bite it off, virtually all the foliage off the plant. And that causes the roots to atrophy. It doesn't kill it, but it causes them to back off, leaving carbon in the soil. Then it starts to photosynthesize over the next 60 days, like breathing in and out.
The day they're born until the day they go to the plant. My job every day is to move each herd from paddock to paddock. That includes checking fences, water, calves, health, all the way through, all day, every day, 7 days a week.
Every species has a manager. We raise cows, hogs, sheep, goats, rabbits, and poultry. Scott runs a cattle operation. It's probably our biggest livestock operation. Sheep's close, but cattle are the biggest. And we're vertically integrated. We raise them here, and we have a USDA inspected red meat slaughter plant and a USDA inspected poultry slaughter plant, and they'll be slaughtered here. So these animals live here their whole life.
Who should we be communicating the most, the fastest, to make the biggest difference in our food system?
So the food system, I believe, as we know it, is broken. It's efficient, but it only works when everything's lined up and working together. If there's one breakdown, it wreaks havoc, and the outcome's very different. During COVID, which was probably the best example of what a highly efficient but highly fragile food system looks like, we had consumers in grocery stores that were limited, only able to buy a certain number of things, be it toilet paper, be it meat. So there was a true limitation that the consumers felt. There's a true limitation that farmers felt. There were market-size animals being euthanized because there was no room in the processing schedule to have them slaughtered because no one was there to make it work. And what we've done at White Oak Pastures, and we are not the most resilient that we can be, but we have worked really hard to insulate ourselves with resilience so that we can operate in disturbance. When COVID struck, we didn't miss a day, processing animals, cutting meat, serving meals. It might have looked a little different. We all wore masks. We didn't allow diners to dine in the restaurant. We never missed a day. We fulfilled orders, we cut meat, we cooked meals, and we all had a place to go and a job to do, COVID or no COVID. If we had not worked so hard to build resilience so that we are a fully functioning little food system, that outcome would be pretty different.
This company is bigger than I ever thought it would be, bigger than I ever intended for it to be. I used to have 4 employees and sell about $1 million worth of live cattle a year. Now we've got about 160 employees and we sell about, I think this year maybe 20-something million worth of beef or products per year. Beef, pork, lamb, poultry. Growth is not something that's important to us. We want to continue to make it the best company it can be. Our land here has gone from 0.5% organic matter when I farmed very industrially using a lot of chemical fertilizer, a lot of tillage, to today this land is over 5% organic matter. That's a 10x increase in carbon. The carbon in the soil in the form of organic matter is what holds the moisture from rain. It's what creates the environment for microbial life. If your land has 1% organic matter, it'll absorb a 1-inch rainfall. A 1-inch rainfall on an acre of land is 27,000 gallons of water. Our land is 5% organic matter, so it'll absorb a 5-inch rainfall. And we get 5-inch rainfalls in the coastal plains of Georgia. So if you get 5 inches, that's over 100,000 gallons of water. If the land's only 0.5% organic matter, it'll only absorb a 1/2 inch of rain. The rest of it washes down to Spring Creek, the Chattahoochee River, to the Gulf of Mexico. And as it's doing that, it erodes away a lot of topsoil, and it's just devastating for the land.
So your question was, what has to happen for the food system to change? And I believe that change starts with the consumer. I believe that consumers have the power to shape the world that they want to persist. And so, for the sake of my children and their children, we all have to very objectively look at what types of production systems are going to best support our future generations. Our current conventional farming system is incredibly extractive. And so we're often faced with the conversation, is regenerative really scalable? Is it truly an answer to food production? Can it feed the masses? And there's studies and people that do all those things and can give you those answers. I can't. I'm a farmer. I know what we can do. I know who we can feed. But the question back to them is, do you think we can honestly consider this extractive path we're on in perpetuity? Big change is coming. We have to change. But what is the change we want to see? What's the change that's going to yield the best result? And so for us, we think that this change is going to carry us further. I've got 2 kids, my sister has 3 kids. You know, when you become a mother, the way you think is completely different. I was selfish as hell for a very long time. I wasn't really worried about anybody but myself. But having children makes you think differently. And I believe that change is coming. We can't continue the path we're on. What type of change do we want to see?
In your dad's book, he talks about if you could taste the suffering, conventional factory farmed animals probably wouldn't eat it. And that has stuck with me. And I had the privilege of observing a cow in the kill room, and I felt really honored that I was able to see that. But with children, right, when they see, because it's this natural instinct, oh, a little piglet, so cute, that's gonna be food, right? So how do you bridge that?
In my part of the business, which is tourism, we have to be transparent about what we do. You know, usually when people stay here, they do take a tour with me or someone on my team, and the slaughter is a huge part of the tour.
Who decides how many animals get processed in a day? Whose decision is that?
The customers.
The demand. So you're fulfilling. Okay, right. Yeah, okay.
Our orders determine a lot of how many we do per day. Right now we're at 25 head every day.
25 head, and this is just for red meat. This is just for the cows, this processing plant.
Correct. We are zero waste, so what we don't sell online, as far as, you know, they buy kidneys and hearts and stuff like that, we also send to the makerspace to be made into leather products or pet chews or core. Everything here is used, so what can't be used somewhere else goes to compost and eventually will be
Back in the soil.
correct.
This here is the leather shop. This is where we're going to do all the leather working. So anything like from leashes, dog collars, wallets, purses, all that, all done in this room, either by me or my apprentice over there.
How long have you been here?
2.5 years now.
2.5. And did you come here with all the knowledge of leathersmithing?
No. I
Learned it on the job.
Yes, I knew how to sew by hand, but I had never actually used a sewing machine before. But I came here, I knew I was good at making stuff, but then they probably just took me on, taught me everything I know. Now I run this entire room. Leather is not the only thing that we do in this building. If you glass work lettuce, that is going to be our tallow department. So anything tallow-based, like our soaps, salve, moisturizer, candles, a vast array of everything that we can use that we can't use for human consumption. Usually the animals are more than happy to gobble it up.
What's the most in-demand thing that you take?
Pet treats.
Pet treats, okay.
Pet treats.
People make the same.
After reading your dad's book, I didn't feel right about eating meat. Not because, meat does great things to my body, and it's a miracle what happens with photosynthesis in grass-fed cows.
Well, it's like big ag played a part in decoupling how the animals are raised, how the animals are slaughtered. That was part of the design. In order to produce livestock cost effectively and in mass, it's not the prettiest picture. There's an incredible amount of trickery that happens on labels that really cause consumers to get lost along, the journey of understanding and participating in what a true food system looks like. And so That's one of the reasons we're so passionate about tourism at White Oak Pastures, because we want to invite people to take a look at what a true functioning food system looks like. And if you want to eat meat, you have to acknowledge that slaughter happens. You know, the animal was once living and the act of death occurred. It's a true sacrifice for you to have that meat. For us, it's part of the system. It's part of what has to happen to enjoy meat. And not knowing about it doesn't mean that it didn't exist. You know, you can't compartmentalize it, and just pretend that it's not there.
Sight out of mind, kind of, which is the majority of consumer. But you're right. It's not just the consumer. Oh, out of sight, out of mind. It's also the marketing. It's also the big ag, right? How far do you think you're willing to go to change the food system?
White Oak Pastures has taken tremendous risk in building a food system. And normally, big risks come with big rewards. And for us, that's not necessarily the case. You would think that recreating a food system, a different kind of food system, a very unique food system, invest, reward. But all these gray hairs come from struggling with cash flow. The stress on the farmer is not just, is it gonna rain and is there gonna be a crop? It's recreating the entire flywheel. Is it gonna rain? Is there gonna be a crop? Can I get it processed into something that consumers will want? Consumers don't buy cows and pigs and sheep. They buy beef and pork and lamb. So can I make that happen? And then can I monetize it so that I at least break even and justify the efforts, that I've gone to raise and process it? And so the juggling act that happens with regard to financially making this a sustainable business is something incredible. So the question was, how far will we go? I don't know that we can go much further. We have done what we've done. It's marginally profitable. I think if we go too much further, we'll be in the red and all of it will be for nothing. I'm sure, knowing my father, if he can think it, that's how far he'll go. He is a very risk-loving person. As the next generation that has learned and loved through that risk, I'm far more risk adverse. And so I think that we'll continue to make the dance that we do every week and every month and every quarter.
You're a business.
Yeah.
I think people romanticize farm, and it is beautiful. And we talk about farming, right? It is beautiful, but it's brutal. It's a business.
It's a business.
Talk to us about your experience, why you're willing to be a pioneer in this space.
So we got the first farm. It's 1,450 acres in the total land mass. And we raised it with sheep. Sheep work under those little arrays that they put in. And then it's just been a real success story. We learned a lot. And we've added 2 more arrays since then. And we're about to build one on our farm that would be a cattle tracker that cattle can graze on. We're excited about that. We got a life cycle assessment study that was done on our farm. It's on our website. It shows that we sequester about 2.5 pounds of carbon for every pound of beef we produce.
Support any farmers who are working to advance agrivoltaics or agriculture on solar sites. And so we're so excited to see how much that's evolved over the years. I'm very honored to present the Solar Rancher of the Year Award. All of these nominees are very generous with their time and their know-how and are willing to spread that around to help new folks who are entering the agrivoltaics or solar grazing world to learn how to make it happen and be successful at it. So I'm honored to present this reward. All right, and the winner is Will Harris.
What just happened?
We just got an award.
Can I see
So
it? Hand me
you
that.
can.
Let me take a
You can. Solar Rancher of the Year. Yeah.
seriously Solar Rancher of the Year right here. So proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us at the table. We're here at White Oak Pastures restaurants.
Do you have a favorite food or you love it all?
I love it all. Beef's the best, so I love it all. That's my granddaughter, Hattie Bell Benoit.
She's the boss. She's everybody's supervisor. All right, Hattie Bell.
Our series is called Farm Hero, when you talked about heroes in your book. There's heroes in everybody's life who makes a big difference, who makes an impact in what we do. I wanted to look up where hero came from, the actual word, but the meaning. Here's what it says: a person who is admired or idealized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities, such as a war hero. So for me, and on behalf of the crew for Farm Hero Will Harris, you are definitely our farm hero here at Bluffton, Georgia. Cheers.
Still want me.